What's up, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Duran Duran. And we're going back to their 2000 album Pop Trash, getting into sort of the final third of the album. I very much enjoyed this. I get why people have mixed opinions, or, some people, decidedly rank it lower in the sort of pecking order of their albums. And I get also, again, that the absence of certain members, whether it's John Taylor or somebody else, I really do appreciate the way in which the composition of the group at any particular time will influence the way people enjoy that album, or less so or not. But I also do appreciate there's been a number of you who've said whether, either just I'm going to go through this album with you and, give it a second chance, or at least, try to find things that are enjoyable as we go through the songs, which I really do appreciate. But a number of you have even said, like, what, this is better than I remember, and, perhaps I need to take a closer look at this period of the band. So I really do appreciate that. And, there are a few of you at least who have mentioned you really do like this album, so it's not like, it's universally seen as inferior or whatever. But again, I do get that opinion is mixed, but I very much enjoyed it as I've gone through it. There's probably not a single Duran album that I would say otherwise about, but again, I am coming to like them for different reasons. I mentioned in another video, I may not be ready to like rank the albums, but I'm certainly beginning to be ready to talk about what specifically I do like about the different albums, and why I like the different albums, and what they speak to me, lyrically and sonically and so on. So a bunch of like album reactions are coming soon, but again, I want to keep listening to the tracks and keep sort of working them into my brain sufficiently before I do those videos, but they are coming. We're up to a tune, The Sun Doesn't Shine Forever. I love that title. It has a poetic quality. It also speaks to the universal fragility of things in the physical chemical universe, meaning, not even stars last forever, and, on a long enough timeline, galaxies aren't going to last forever either. As space-time keeps expanding, the gravitational bonds between, large objects will become weaker, and ultimately, again, like, not just biological organisms, which comparatively, our lives are fleeting, ephemeral, transitory. So it speaks to the sort of, the entropy of the universe, the way in which things tend to break down over time, and even stars do not shine forever. Now, again, some stars are big enough that they blow themselves up. Now, main sequence stars, which don't go supernova, they bloat to like a red giant level, and then they slowly just lose material over time, until they become like a white dwarf, which is essentially like a star the size of like a planet, and it's held up by electron degeneracy pressure. And so basically, there hasn't been enough time in the universe yet for any of those stars to completely go like dark and not give off any light or heat anymore. So yeah, there aren't really any stars that at least don't blow themselves up that have actually completely gone out. And there won't be for some time, but on a long enough timeline, we know enough about chemistry and physics to know that stars will eventually turn off completely. Nevertheless, this is all sort of extraneous to what the song is surely about. I doubt we're going to be dealing with astronomical themes here, but again, it does show that, even in a scientific sense, nothing lasts forever, including the stars, and certainly if applied toward like human relations and human lives, the idea the sun doesn't shine forever, you could think about, there might be a period in your life when things are going really well and everything's hitting and clicking, and it just seems like, there must be, sort of like fortunate winds blowing your way and so on, but even the best of times won't last. So ultimately, on a long enough timeline, you will experience, crests and troughs of emotional and social experience. So I think it could be applied, not necessarily about life per se, the actual living and dying of creatures or even inanimate objects, in a figurative sense. I do think it could apply to like parts of people's lives where, the sun is shining on you and things are working well, but if you're wise, if you're experienced, that that's probably not going to last forever, so you shouldn't make, long-term decisions based on the expectation that things will retain that like, perfect symmetry and unfolding. So yeah, those are the themes that I think of when I see The Sun Doesn't Shine Forever. We'll have to see how it manifests, and I feel like it is inclined to be I'm not inclined, but I'm inclined to think it will be a more poetic tune just by the nature of the title. It feels like there will be, sort of metaphor or simile in terms of the articulation of themes. But let's get to it. This is Duran Duran, The Sun Doesn't Shine Forever, from their 2000 album Pop Trash. Kind of feel, looking at the sunset, which, sunset could... At the end of the rainbow, okay, found each other there. Strange, we never thought the colors would fade. Singing about light and colors again. But it's much harder to stay. It's a high, like electric sort of. Why are we reckless today? You and I got to hold on together. Okay. 'Cause feel that chorus unfolding, which is not a bad thing. I like that. The verses are like sweet and tender sonics. Seems to dissolve into tears. There's so many good times. The synth work. Optimistic song. Like that little drum push. Guitar work fits the overall sonic atmosphere perfectly. Work at it every day. Complex palette. It's still sweet and tender, but it's got a bit of an epic edge to it. It's also very it's just kind of marching along, like it's the way the percussion plays. It's kind of like heavy in the way it's plodding along. That guitar work. yeah, it's still weird to me fading out when he's doing some, cool little guitar flourish work there. But again, I enjoy the tune. I like the atmosphere. Again, it was sort of like sweet and tender and flowing and smooth. Like I said at the beginning, it felt like, watching a sunset on your front porch, which, sunset, whether you're talking in an immediate, like, physical day on Earth sense, or you're talking about a part of your life or your life overall, or the impermanence of everything on a larger scale or the largest scale. Yeah, I think the sort of metaphor works in a number of ways. So the fact that it sort of suggested that visual scene to me, I think, is a positive testament to the sort of composition of the tune sonically. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I think that was a cool tune, and I think it had a really sweet, like, optimistic sort of sentiment that, we'll go through some struggles and whatever, but if we can, hold on to this feeling that we have for each other and sort of, keep trying to make it work every day, even if, it is a struggle, we can make the time we do have all the more special and worthwhile. So, yeah, like the sort of the thematic feeling I have, which again, I got to listen to it some more. I think there's probably some lines in there that'll, flesh out certain aspects. But again, the sentiment that I got was a very sort of positive, forward-looking sentiment, even in the face of the sort of impermanence and sort of the fleeting nature of everything. So, yeah, let me know what you think. Excuse me. I do enjoy, once again, the fact that I'm getting through a number of albums, and I'm getting close to talking about albums as a whole. I mentioned before, I don't yet have Liberty, Astronaut, or Thank You, but I will be able to start reacting to those even before I get them physically. I mentioned it before, I am going to get all the albums, like actual copies, even if, it may get a little more expensive. And again, shout out, there's been a couple of you who've asked about, like, I'd be willing to send you a donation if, it means you can react to other albums that you don't have yet, and so on. I really do appreciate that. The fact that people, like, want to help continue expanding this journey, whether it's through emailing me tunes or giving me access to drives, or even actually, like, sending a donation to, like, whether it's to help me buy an air conditioner or to get more albums, that is really appreciated. And if it is something you want to do, please just reach out. Like I said, I'm not going to do, like, a blanket, like, solicitation and, hey, send me money, because that's not what this is about. This is about my enjoyment of music. I've always talked about music a lot, and recently I realized this would be a good forum to do that. And it seems like, again, a number of you agree and have helped expand this journey for me and others at the same time. So shout out to all of you. But again, if that is something you'd like to do, just reach out, let me know. But yeah, ultimately, I will be able to begin to react to those albums even before I necessarily get a physical copy. Once again, shout out to Philip, giving me access to pretty much, it seems like, the entire discography. So yeah, I'm really excited to get to those, which I'll be doing soon, because I'm getting close to the end of this and close to the end of Red Carpet Massacre and a number of others. I'm getting close, or have just finished the bonus tracks. So yeah, we will continue expanding those. Still so much more Duran to come. So let me know what you think of this one. And when we come back to this album next time, it'll be Kiss Goodbye. I really do like following The Sun Doesn't Shine Forever sequentially with Kiss Goodbye. It gives a similar, although, like, it's kind of looking at a similar concept perhaps, but from a different angle, from these perhaps a, like, the angle of finality, the angle of, the end of the shining sun period. So I do like the composition of this album just in that little detail. So yeah, let me know what you think. Other than that, I will see you next time. Peace.